afternoon, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Can I have the service department, please?
All right, and you're calling from what?
I'm sorry.
You're calling from what state, please?
Indiana.
And the language at your congregation?
English.
Thanks a lot. Could you give a brief idea of what your call is about, please?
Yes, maybe I'm not calling the right department, but did you see on A&E the Leah Remini special that aired last night?
No, but I'll connect you with the desk and you can tell them about it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Service Department.
Hi, I have a question. Did you see the that Leah Remini did a special last night on us, the Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, in this special, she talked about something that she called the two witness rule, or others were calling the two witness rule. Now, that's not true, is it?
Well, can we first ask who we're speaking with, please?
Yes, my name is Amy, and I go to a Kingdom Hall in Indiana. But I wanted
In which congregation, Amy, are you associated with?
the Jeffersonville congregation.
Okay.
But I need to know, what is this two witness rule?
Well, this is coming from a report I didn't see, so maybe you can explain it what you saw.
Yeah, what they said was that that the elders have a handbook that they follow rules on, and they said, I think she said page 72 of this handbook, it said that the elders would require a second witness in cases where there has been wrongdoing in the congregation in order to form a judicial committee. And she also said that they use this policy even in cases of child abuse.
Okay, so just a question, Amy. We know there's a lot of reports put out about everything. So from your experience, would it make sense to believe something just because it's on TV?
Well, that's why I'm calling and asking. Is that true?
So I think that's your answer. So just because something's on TV doesn't automatically mean it's true.
But she showed a picture of the elder's manual. Is that fake?
Yeah, we don't know where she got that from. We can't verify that.
But it said that without a confession, they needed two witnesses in order to form a judicial committee. Is that correct or no? Can you just answer that?
Let me share a scripture with you here, and hopefully this kind of clears it up for you. And perhaps you want to jot this down as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you just tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so go to Deuteronomy.
Okay.
Chapter 17.
Mm-hmm.
And read for me verse number 6.
Okay, hold on just a second. It says, on the testimony of two witnesses or of three witnesses, the man who is to die should be put to death. He must not be put to death on the testimony of one witness.
Okay, so what do you get out of that?
Well, I mean, it makes sense that you would need more than one witness when there was, when something wrong had happened, especially like to a kid, because what if, they're making false allegations, or something like that. I get that. But then it says here, on the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, the one who is to die should be put to death. It's not like we're killing someone by holding a judicial committee, is it?
Right. So look at the context there. If you're still open to Deuteronomy chapter 17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at verse number 4 now.
Okay. It says, when it is reported to you or you hear about, then you should investigate the matter thoroughly. If it is confirmed to be true, that is, that this detestable thing has been done in Israel.
And if you back up some more, verse 3, it talks about someone engaging in idolatry. Verse number 2 uses the phrase, someone who's practicing what is bad in the eyes of Jehovah, violating his covenant. So we know Jehovah gave his people back then an extensive list of things that they'd want to avoid, different practices,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them originating from some of the nations around them. So we know that. He gave the 10 Commandments and about 600 other laws in the Law Covenant. So this is referring to, in principle, anything that would violate one of those rules, one of those laws Jehovah gave. As verse 4 mentioned, confirm the facts, investigate the matter, establish it from Jehovah's perspective. And this is one of the means he provided to establish that with the 2 witnesses. And that makes sense, correct? We want to make sure if something's a grave violation of one of Jehovah's laws or principles, we want to make sure it's established before proceeding forward.
Okay, so, but when it's so you're saying that is true, that we do have to have 2 witnesses in order to have a judicial committee. I'm confused.
This is straight from God's word to establish matters.
It also said to investigate thoroughly, so.
Right, so again, we don't want to be hasty pushing into something if it's not established and we go right to a punishment, then that's not fair to the person, right? So due process has to happen. Jehovah's given us that process to follow, and ultimately Jehovah's the judge, so nothing escapes his notice, as you know. Jehovah makes the final say at the end of the day. We just follow what he tells us to do with the process.
Okay, but what she was saying, it didn't just say about the 2 witness rule, but it said that that there are certain states that require like mandatory reporting, where the if an instance of child abuse or child sex abuse, and there's never a second witness to child sex abuse, that without that second witness, that we aren't going to the police in such cases. Is that true?
And again, Amy, with that, when it comes to that, with specific comments made by this individual, we can appreciate, you understand that we didn't see what you saw. So
so I'm just asking a simple question.
And we don't know, and Amy, we don't know where she's getting her information from, what her motive is,
right?
And providing it. We can't comment on that.
But what I'm asking,
before,
I'm just asking a simple question about our child sex abuse policies. Do we report to the authorities in all events of child abuse or child sex abuse?
Yeah, if that's your question, this is perfect, and we have a perfect answer for you. Perhaps you're unaware of this little section on our website. If you go on jw.org to newsroom, one of the first 5 tabs, the main tabs, goes to legal developments.
But I didn't see anything. I went there, and I didn't see anything about, like she was talking about the Australian Royal Commission, and there was nothing on our website about that. Is that not true either? Is that fake news too?
Again, we can't comment on that because that's something that's reported by an outside source.
Well, I'm just asking, was there such a thing as the Jehovah's Witnesses being at the Australian Royal Commission?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I can't answer that. I don't know.
But you've never heard of what? No, what she said really concerns me. I have children that go to the Kingdom Hall, and what she said was that, and what other people were saying, they claimed to be victims of this two witness rule, and when they were children, they went to the elders and said, so and so hurt me, and the other person didn't confess. So then these women, not having a second witness to child sex abuse, they've their whole lives had been turned upside down because they were given back to their physical abuser, and nobody called the police. And there were 1,006 cases in Australia where where there were reported pedophiles. There were 1,006 reported pedophiles in the congregations in Australia, is what she's claiming. And none of those were turned over to the authorities for a proper investigation. Like, we could get a second witness by DNA. Wouldn't that be like a second witness if a child had been sexually abused and you take them so the proper authorities can check and see if there's any DNA evidence or any other type of forensic evidence?
Yeah, we definitely understand your concern, especially as a mother. That's definitely legitimate. Have you asked your elders about this before, just out of curiosity?
No, I'm kind of scared to, because
such a grave concern.
And I'm kind of scared to. If I don't want to get, I mean, I love Jehovah and I want to serve Jehovah, but I'm scared, and I'm afraid that, with me voicing these questions and these concerns, that they might, I'm just scared to say anything.
Mm-hmm. And Amy, just out of curiosity as well, what prompted you to seek this out?
Well, so I was at a cart last week, and someone told me that A&E, Leah remini, that she was doing a special on Jehovah's Witnesses, and I didn't believe it, and I'd forgot about it until yesterday, and I flipped the channel over to Leah, the A&E website, and there were several people on there talking about the abuse that they went through.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were doing the cart witnessing, and then someone had mentioned that to you,
yes,
that this special was coming out,
yes,
something like that. Okay. And how old are your children?
7 and 9.
Okay, so yeah, they're young children, so definitely you want to be concerned. As that packet that I mentioned to you earlier, it explicitly says, number 4, in all cases, victims and their parents have the right to report an accusation to the authorities.
What if the victim is...
or anyone else who reports such an accusation, clearly informed by the elders that they have the right to report the matter. Elders do not criticize anyone who chooses to make such.
But what if the person who abused the child is a parent? They're not going to turn themselves into the police.
Right. So if someone else knows about it, they definitely have, whether they're a parent or not, related, a friend, they still have the right to report it.
What if the only person they feel safe reporting it to is an elder? Does the elder report that? Because it's not happening. Are they supposed to when they're just not doing it?
Yes, certain states have different reporting laws. That's clearly established. So.
But it even said in what happened in Australia, and I don't know, does this happen here too, that even when they were in mandatory reporting states, that the Jehovah's Witnesses were not reporting this unless it was a known offense that had happened in the congregation and more than 2 or 3 people knew about it in the congregation.
Yeah. And again, with those specific cases, Amy, again, you're hearing one side of it. Even though this is out.
But it was a trial.
Again, you're hearing one side. So we don't know exactly what happened with each. You and I don't know exactly what happened with each specific case. We're just hearing the report of it.
Well, I mean, it was proven in this court case, in this commission, that none of those 1,006 pedophiles had been turned over for the police, and the 2,000 victims had never gotten justice for being sexually abused.
And as we mentioned earlier, Jehovah, he sees everything. So he has the final say with it. So you mentioned you want to worship Jehovah. What's
I don't think Jehovah would like that.
Right.
I don't think Jehovah would like that nobody's calling the police. Is that true?
So how do you think Jehovah feels about that?
Well, maybe that's why Leah Remini is doing these articles, because Jehovah's mad at the organization. Because they're not handling it properly. I don't think I can do this anymore. Is this true?
If you're upset, then how much more is Jehovah upset if something happens? Jehovah promises he's, at the end of the day, he's going to take care of anything that's...
These children, they're trusting Jehovah by going to the elders and saying something. And they're not calling the police? What if their dad is raping them? Why is this okay?
Amy, I think our recommendation for you at this point, it seems like you're getting pretty emotional. So at this point, we'd encourage you two recommendations here for you. Number one, if you haven't already, talk with one of your elders there in the congregation. Let him know your concern. It looks like Brother Franklin is your coordinator. You have him, you have Brother Wesley, he's the secretary. Let them know your concern in a calm way. They're not going to ostracize you, they're not going to turn you away. Express calmly to them your concern.
But they might. That's what they said on Leah Remini. This one woman that was on there, she said she went to the elders and was upset, just like I am right now. And then she got disfellowshipped, and she hasn't talked to her family in 3 years.
Yeah, you're not going to get disfellowshipped, Amy. Okay, so go to your elders. Number two, again, like we've mentioned, Jesus said these type of things reports will come up against his people, the time we live in, so we can expect...
But no, I mean, like, they went through a court of law. It was proven that this happened.
And again, we don't know...
Maybe that's Jehovah. I think that's Jehovah acting because he's upset.
Okay, we're going to put you on a hold for just a second here, Amy. Hold on with us.